In this video, I will show you how to make a poster using the relationship between text and image in a few simple steps. We will need an image. It doesn't matter if it is black, white or color. Even if you have a color image, you can convert it to black and white for a more dramatic effect. In this way, I opened an image and I will make the edits on this image. When you open the image, you first need to get rid of the background. Let's make it a normal layer by clicking on the locked icon. Then we need to find the center of our workspace. We can turn on the ruler feature here, and then I'm clicking on the ruler on the left hand side and I'm moving it to the center of the page. When I get to the center of the page, we will see that the ruler here will adjust itself so it is right in the center. See, I'm getting closer to the center of the page, and as soon as I get closer, this line here automatically jumps to the front. This means that we are right in the center of the page. When I take my hand off the mouse, we have drawn a line. The purpose of doing this is to separate the page from the center and therefore try to create a symmetrical effect. So if you are using a portrait photo of the image, let's set it so that the nose is exactly in the center. This is how I save and center our image. When applying this poster work, decoupling the main image gives better results. In other words, separating it from the background, painting black, the background can give better results. I will do this process here. First, I will select the object. You can also select it with the pen tool or the lasso tool. I will do this using the select subject feature that comes with the latest versions of Photoshop for a quick selection. I click on a selection icon and then click on the select subject button above. As you can see, when you click on this button, it automatically separates the object from the background according to its own perception. By clicking on the Select Mask button, it allows us to work in more detail. I won't explain this part in detail because it is not about decoupage. If you select on black from the View options in the View section and then change the opacity value to 100%, it will set the background to completely black. I think it looks good. It can stay that way. I also changed the Output to option to New Layer with Layer Mask and click OK. It decoupled the object. When I paint the background a black color, I will have the result I want. After decoupling, I will select the rectangle tool in the toolbox on the left. I will select the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle on the right side of the image. The color can be black. You can adjust it from the fill value here. There will be no stroke value, so we don't want any outline. Let's draw a rectangle like this. And let's not forget the names. After adding the black rectangle here, let's write our text. I'm writing something like lorem ipsum, so let's write a text with more than one line. You can write anything you want. I'm enlarging the character, the font. I'm placing it to the right. Then you can change these edits. You can edit the text or change the position of the text. You can also change the fonts later. You don't have to find the final position. Now I right-click on the text and select Blending Options at the top. This will open a window. In this window, with the top option still selected, I changed the value of the Advanced Blending option from 100% to 0%. Then I changed the Knockout option from None to Shadow. Then we can close this window by clicking the OK button. Now the color of the bottom layer of the text appears. So, it looks transparent because when you remove all of this, we will see the background as transparent. But because we need to see the image, we need to group both the black rectangle and the text into one group. Right now, my text is selected. By pressing the Ctrl key on the keyboard, I also select the black layer in the background. So, we have both selected. Then, I group them together with Ctrl G. When I group them together, we will make the background image visible. Let's also do the group naming. This is what I just said. You can edit the text by clicking on it. Or you can press Ctrl T to activate the transform feature to make it resize. Or you can do the same in the character panel or properties panel as if you were editing standard text. Now let's change the background image to black and white for a more dramatic effect. With the image selected, I click on this icon at the bottom of the Layers panel and select Black and White. When I select this, the image will change color. It will become black and white. Then you can change this black and white ratio by making some adjustments in the Properties panel. If you don't see the Properties panel, you have to make sure that the Properties option under Window is checked. When I look at the other options, we can see that there are different black and white ratios. These changes already come from changing the colors at the bottom. You can either make these adjustments manually from here, or you can use the presets already prepared. I will leave it at this. We have a line in the middle. You can either hide this line with Ctrl H, which stands for hide, or if you think you don't need it anymore, you can put it back, drag it back and make it disappear. This is how portraits and textual designs are made. To create a slightly different effect, I create a new layer with the black and white feature selected. Let's call it a shadow. I select the brush tool, black as the color. Let's make the brush tool a little bit bigger. Let's paint a little bit around the perimeters like this. You can determine the proportion of this yourself. Let's change the color of the background a little bit to make the image stand out more. You can also make this part of the background white. You can also prepare designs on white like this. Of course, you need to make these arrangements according to what you want to create. Now, I am showing you another little tip. The parts that you see here as text are only visible on the portrait. Some letters are not visible here. In order to make these letters visible, I choose which color you want them to appear as. For example, if you want them to appear slightly gray, I choose black. And if you don't want them to stand out too much, I choose gray from the values here. Then I copy the rectangle we created with Ctrl J and drag this layer over this layer in the background. You can change the color of this layer here, or you can also click on the color you just selected. In this way, you can also make the text that is not on the image visible. You can also make an image like this, or you can make it a little lighter color of black again. This will be an application that depends entirely on what you want. It looks good this way, and it matches the color of the image. By clicking the arrow button, we also make the invisible text visible. Let's try this with a thicker character. I think you will get different results with each edit. This is how it looks with a thicker character than before. Again, let's make a small change to the background, make them less visible this time, and this is the result. In this video, we created an alternative design by blending images and text using the relationship between photos and text. Thanks for watching. I hope it was useful. If today's video was useful to you, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Just click on the subscribe button below this video. Thank you for watching.